Hello Logic users, Mike here again, and in this video I'm going to give you 10 piano roll shortcuts plus a bunch of bonus tips and tricks in Logic Pro X. So let's get started right now. Tip 1. The Quick Tools menu. So if you press T on your keyboard, you open up this tool menu. You really want to learn all these quick tool shortcuts. So for example, if you press TB, you get the brush tools, you can draw in notes, TM for the mute tools, you can mute individual notes, and when you want to go back again, double-clicking T, so T, and you get back to the pointer tool, so you can select and do like that. Tip 2, add a third tool, which you can see up here in the sequencer and the piano roll. How do you access this? First, what do they do? So this is the ordinary left-click tool, which I have set to pointer tool, so I can just select and point like this. The next one, which I have set as pencil tool, is the command tool. So if I hold down the command key, you activate this second. So you want to set it at as you wish. For example, you might want to have it as the scissor tool. So then if I hold down command, you activate the scissor, but I want the pencil tool. And the third is actually the right mouse button. So now if I have this at scissor, I can simply right click here and it slices up the note depending on what you have here as the snap setting. Now, how do you activate the third tool? So you go into preferences and let's see, general, and then editing, and then here right mouse button is, and then you select is assignable to tool. If I remove it, now it's only two tools there, so it's assignable to tool, and then you have 3. Tip 3, velocity tool. So instead of activating one of these as the velocity tool, let's say I set this scissor tool to the velocity, now I can hold down the right mouse button and drag up and down. Well, you don't have to. You can simply use this as I had it on scissor, and then hold down command and control, and you activate temporarily the velocity tool, and you can do the same. Tip 4, zoom tool. So in Logic, you really need to zoom in and out a lot. So you can, of course, use these sliders or on your computer keyboard, command and the arrow keys up and down or left and right if you hold the command, like so. If you have a trackpad, you can simply swipe. But what I'll use the most is the actual zoom tool. So one of these tools here. So you can use, if you hold down Option and Control, you activate it, and then you can draw in where you want to zoom. And the reason you really want to hold down both these buttons, not only if I choose Option, you can activate it, but if I am above something, a region already, like a note, it doesn't activate. So always use Option and Control, and then you can see it always activates this. And if you hold down Option, Control, and then double click, you go back. So you can go back several steps like this. Zoom in once while I hold down Option, Control, zoom in twice, zoom in a third time, and then still hold down Option, Control, double click, or even single click, and it goes back like that. So that's the zoom tool, tip 4. Now tip 5 is transpose. So you really want to become a master of transposing in the piano roll, and it's as simple as selecting a note, and then you hold down Option and then arrow up and down like this, up or down, one seminote as you can see. Or if you add the Shift key, it goes in octaves, so 12 half steps. Okay, so that's tip 5. Tip 6 is invert selection. So if you have everything here, now I want to select everything except for these 3 notes here. So you simply start by selecting those, then hold Shift and I, invert, and now you have selected everything else except of this. Tip 7, select top and bottom. So let's go to the short strings here. Now you can see the bass, the octave of the bass, and the top line here. Now if you want to, for example, select all these bass notes, just hold down Shift and then press arrow down. That will select all the lowest notes during any time. However, you can see at this moment, this is actually the lowest notes because these are not playing. So sometimes you just need to manually go in and remove them. So just hold down Shift while you click on these right here. So those are not selected. Now, this is the only one selected, so you can simply copy that and add to a bass track or whatever. And the opposite is holding down Shift and pressing the up arrow, which will select all the upper notes like this. Tip 8, repeat notes. So this is really good if you have, let's say, these 4 notes here. You can simply hold Command and then press R, and that will repeat. It will guess pretty much where you want to repeat it. So as you can see, it added it over here. Might sometimes need to move it or so, especially if, let's say, I take this and Command R, it thinks I want to add it at the next half bar beat here. But that's Command R. Tip 9, nudge node. So if you zoom in here, you can see this note is slightly before in the grid. Sometimes you want to push a note slightly to the right or left. Then just hold down the Option key and press the left or right arrow like this. You can see if I zoom in even closer. Okay, so that's max. If I just hold down Option left or Option right. How much depends on the nudge values. You can actually change it here if you have it available in the secondary toolbar. So the nudge value, you can see it's 10 ticks. You can actually set this on, let's say, division, and then you can use it for actually changing an entire division, so a 16th notes in the grid, by doing the same, like that. So that is a bonus tip, I guess. And tip 10, automation. You really need to learn how to use this like a reflex. So press A to open up the automation lane for this particular track here in the piano roll, and then Command Y to go through. So let's see here. Here I have selected everything. Now Command Y actually scrolls between all lanes of automation. So in this case, we only have the MIDI velocity lane and the modulation lane. So if you add anything else like sustain pedal, some kind of expression data like this, now that is added as one of the automation lanes. Command Y to scroll in between them like this. Modulation wheel, expression, and then MIDI velocity. And of course, if you want to delete anything, you can just left click and that note and then press backspace or delete. Or if you hold down Option and double click on any note, it will select everything in this automation lane, and then you can press delete or backspace to remove it entirely. So that's an extra bonus tip. Now finally, I have a really cool bonus trick with the scissor tool, which I love using, especially in chord progressions, anytime I want to really slice up the notes. So if we zoom in, once again, how did you do it? Option, Control, and you can see the zoom tool, then just select, and voila, here we are. So this is a note I want to slice with the scissor. Now, I have selected the scissor tool as the right-click tool here. So you can actually use it to slice the note, but where will it slice? Well, I have it here set to snap settings on Smart, which means if I want to slice it here at this beat here, it will practically guess with the Smart setting where I want to slice it. So if I'm only slightly left, it still thinks I'm slicing at the exact position. That's why Smart is not always the best case when you want to slice. So instead, you could use, for example, beat. So now you can only slice at the beats. So if you can see here, 2 and 3, meaning you have here, here. So you actually need to extend. Let's extend this a bit. Whoops, like this. Oh, how by the way, you want to extend it, hold down Control after you left click here, and it will not snap. Now I can slice it here, but I mean, if I have it on beat, I cannot slice here. You are actually forcing the position you want to slice. So if I'm to the left or right of it, it will still slice at the beat here. Now you can also set it, this is really cool, to division, and it will actually slice at the divisions, which you see in the grid. These gray lines here, that's the division of the grid. So if I slice here now, it will slice at the nearest division right here, like so. But what's really cool about this is, let's say you want to do triplets. Change this to from 16th note division to 12, and now you have triplets. You can see the grid change, so there's 1, 2, 3 in one beat here, and that way you actually get, these are now triplet notes here. And my final bonus tip, which is so cool, is that you can actually do this at once by basically multi-slicing. So let's say you want to turn this note into 3 triplets here. Set it here first to 12, so you get this grid. Then hold down the Option key while you right-click with the scissor tool here, and voila, it will slice up everything in equal increments. Of course, this isn't the full, because the note didn't extend there, but you see 1, 2, 3, those are equal size triplets here. You can use this on, go back to 16th to get this to actual 16th notes. Now you made 4 notes. So if you have a chord, you can slice it up into 16th notes if you want to, because you can actually use this on many notes at the same time. Like if I take both these notes, like so, select them, and then hold down Option key, and then click here. Voila, all these are now 16th notes. So those are some amazing tips and shortcuts in the piano roll editor in Logic Pro X.